Hey, I'm Ton Vin, and this is Seattle Eats, a food podcast from the Seattle Times and KUOW. Seattle is a big coffee town. It's also known for its literary scene. So it's only natural that reading and coffee go hand in hand. But it's not always easy to find a quiet place to have a cup of joe and read. Blasting music, people talking loudly over the blasting music. I'm looking at you, Capitol Hill. What if you just want a comfy, quiet place to sit down with a good book? Well, my colleague, Margo Vansynghel, has you covered. Margo is the arts economy reporter at the Seattle Times, and she wrote about her favorite cozy coffee shops. Today, she gives her top picks and explains what to look for in a reading-friendly cafe. And I'll give you some suggestions on what to eat. Ready? Let's roll! Hey, Margo. Welcome to the show.
Hey, Tom. Thanks for having me.
Oh, the honor is all mine. So, Margo, it's that time of year that screams for soup, hearty beef dishes, and cozy cafes.
Mm-hmm.
So who better to talk about this than you? You recently wrote about your 6 favorite coffee shops to read. First, tell me about your story, because this is one of the must-reads of the Seattle Times in recent weeks, I believe.
Yes, the origins of this story go back quite a while to last year because I made a resolution to read more. And I did. I was sitting on my couch with my cat named Soup, actually. I was sitting on the couch. I was reading. And after a while, I was just starting to feel totally alone and crazy and unmoored. And I'm like, am I going to see a living soul ever again? And no offense to Soup, but I was like, I need to get out there. And I started Googling and trying to find a Reddit thread on cool cafes to read. And there wasn't much out there. So I did my own research and compiled a little list. There was maybe an Excel spreadsheet. We don't need to talk about that. And I started going to a bunch of places, read my book, and then about a year later, we are here with my list of favorites. And that's the story. Yes.
So let's start on Capitol Hill, a place called Open Forum. It's in the Pike and Pine corridor at 500 East Pike Street, Suite 200B. Okay, and take it from there, because you can't just open a door. You have to go up some stairs, right?
It has a speakeasy feel to it because it's not, it doesn't have a window. You can't just happen upon it, right? So you have to know about it, and you walk up the stairs, and it's a little bit like, where am I going here? And then you come into this pretty big loft space that is beautifully decorated, and you feel like you're in Tribeca in New York or something like that.
To me, it has the DNA of a speakeasy. That's a great comparison because how speakeasies are set up is usually in an alley or they intentionally made the door looks really rough, you're in the wrong neighborhood, buddy, move on. But if that's the whole purpose, if you're in the in crowd, then this is something special. How did you know this place existed?
Instagram. That's how I find out about a lot of places.
So tell me the vibe, because you're right. It's Tribeca. It's bright. What do you like about it?
I mean, the furniture is really contemporary design, and it has a mix of styles. So you'll find a really nice low wooden table that you could find in Japan where you would have a tea ceremony, for example. But then you'll also find shelving that is chrome. And, I was saying this in the story, it does feel like when you come in, there's an immediate calm that falls on you. And it's because you're away from the hubbub of the street, right? You can't think about the cars and everything that is happening in life kind of happening because you're just a little literally removed from it. But I also feel like people, because the interior is muted, people's voices immediately kind of lower down a little bit. So there are conversations and people are talking, but they're just lowering their voices just a little bit.
I've tried 5 times. I walk up, I marvel at the beauty of this place, and I turn around and leave because it's a full house. I can't get a seat. So I was very impressed that you did find a seat.
I was there on Sunday afternoon at
doing
1:30.
Game. That's exactly what it is. That's right. It's NFL season, and that's why you got a seat. That's a secret, listeners.
The people who are not interested in sports are really having a good time at the trendy bars right now.
Okay. You're an open forum coffee person or tea? Tell me your habit. What did you have here?
I had matcha, and I will say I am not an expert at any. I leave it to you, the expert. But I have tried a lot of matchas in a lot of places, and I will say it was a beautiful mug, which I do care about. And it was excellent matcha. It was very nicely done. And I had it at the table that is really low to the ground, and I really like sitting on the floor. That is something that I really enjoy. And that was when I read my book there.
Yeah. They don't have a hot food menu. They just have cookies and rock saffron candy. I think they call it the Rocky saffron candy. I never eat when I'm in there. But it's not a place to eat and drink. It's a place to drink with a little nibble of cookies or candies. Okay, Margo, I got to know. Open forum, what do you read when you're in there, or what do you suggest? Is there a certain mood, a certain book?
The book that I would actually recommend people read there is Perfection by Vincenzo Latronico, which is a novella. It's really, really short. And it's this book about a couple. There are a couple of expats in Berlin, and they're curating their perfectly Instagrammable aesthetic life. And I feel like it would be perfect there because it's such a perfectly Instagrammable, beautiful location. And it is really, I mean, it is such a perfect book for the kind of millennial Gen Z generation because it says a lot of smart things about, you know, why are we trying to be so perfect on social media? And it asks a lot of good questions in a really interesting way.
Okay, good to know. So, Margo, we know you're not a football fan because apparently you go to open forum on a Sunday when the game is playing.
And I didn't even know the game was playing.
So, for me, I'm not there on a Sunday. And when I do get to open forum, I can never get a seat. Is there another cozy coffee house on Capitol Hill you would suggest?
Yes, I love Espresso Vivace. It's my neighborhood cafe, and I speak very, very highly of them.
Whoa. Is this the one on, I believe this is one on Broadway East, in the main bar hopping drag?
It's a little bit further out towards the kind of what I call like a grown-up Capitol Hill, which is where I live now that I used to live in the other part of Capitol Hill. But yes, it is in the quieter part of Capitol Hill. So, you know.
Okay, this is for me, a bar hopping drag, and it's so distracting. This is a great place not just to people watch, but to watch dog walkers and their dogs. How do you even focus?
Have you been to their quiet room? They have a special room for this.
Wow. Tell me more.
So they have a room in the back. It's actually called a quieter room. Technically, they have this they have like a white piece of paper and they have quieter. And they actually say that you don't have to be completely silent, even though I will say I was there with a friend. We were having a pretty quiet, in my opinion, conversation. We were shushed. You know, take that piece of information for what you will. But it is a nice room, and it still has windows so you can see into the rest of the cafe. And it has a big table, a shared table, and then it has like a high top bar throughout. So it's quite big, and people work there, people read there, and it is really nice and quiet. There's no music, and it is much, much quieter. And so I get work done there, but I also read there, so it's quite nice.
Okay. Is it easy to get a seat or a table usually?
I don't think people like it as much. I think a lot of people actually like the kind of hubbub around them. So it is actually has never been a problem for me to get a seat there. It's actually sometimes easier to get a seat there than in the main seating area.
This is good to know because I have to stop by because I never get coffee here for this reason because I'm easily distracted. I love to people watch.
There's always the trick of putting on your big headphones, you know, turning on the I don't know what it's called. It's like this wah music that I do and I put on when I'm working and I really need to get some writing done.
Serenity now.
Yeah, exactly. What kind of this calming music, and I put this on and then I can read basically anywhere if I need to, or people watch and like calm down. And then because in the summer, as you know, they have these huge garage doors that they like pull up, and then you can sit by the bar, and then the dogs come by, the people come by, the outfits, the shoes. It's all amazing.
Oh, good.
And then I'm not reading. At that point, I'm not reading. I'm saying it and I'm like, okay, well, there's no book reading going on. So at that point, but but it's a great place to sit.
Now I don't feel so bad because yes, you get distracted too. Because I believe it's really distracting, this place. So I'm glad to hear that you're like the rest of us. So what do you get there usually?
I get a latte and I get a matcha. I have been told by friends who are really into coffee that the coffee there is excellent.
Chef's kiss. Correct.
Okay. Tell me about why and how.
No,
I don't know. I'm sorry.
The thing about coffee houses here in Seattle is not so much the coffee as the barista. They don't always make it great or consistent. But I think there, it's always consistent. So I think that, for me, is what's a big difference about that place compared to other places. But moving to the other side of town, Margo, to West Seattle.
Yes.
I want to talk about C&P Coffee Company. So tell me about this place. Why did it make you a list?
Yes. I saw it online. It was in my Excel spreadsheet. I knew I had to go. I'd seen some pictures of some rugs, some sofas. Basically, that was you
and furniture. What is up with this? Sorry, go on.
No, I want to talk about this because I feel like so many coffee shops, they're not inviting you to sit. They're inviting you to just buy your coffee and get out, right? It's like it's doctor's office lighting. It's a high top that is not comfortable. It's other people working on laptops, which makes me not want to sit there and read my book. It's hard seating. I want softness and soft lighting, soft seating. So basically what I was doing, I was on Google looking for these places and I'm like, does it have a couch or any kind of pillows, anything soft? And so this place looked like it had a lot of softness to it. And so that's how I selected it and then went, yeah.
So it's coincidence that this is the third place on the list because it to me is a third place. It's just wonderful. When I moved here over 20 years ago, I thought every coffee shop in Seattle would be like C&P Coffee House, where it's like in a house, has that cozy vibe with the sofas. I was so disappointed. I come to Seattle and it's all like sterile. It's just like a corporate, just a boxy white wall that serves coffee.
Yeah, I mean, and I wrote this in the story, like there's a lot of coffee shops that are like, we're the neighborhood's living room or whatever. And like often it's like, yeah, okay, sure. But I feel like this one is like, it seems like it's real. I mean, I don't live in West Seattle, so I can't say that, but it's truly so charming. So I'm going to set the scene. So it's like a single story wood frame home. And you walk in, you're like up the stairs, and then there are a ton of different rugs on the floor. There are leather couches. There are armchairs. There are like communal tables, wooden tables, like definitely been there for years. And then when I was there were people writing postcards to voters. And then I got my matcha. I was sitting down and next to me was a young couple, parents, and in the dad's arms was a kid, 3 to 4 years old, and he was like half asleep, and he was literally just snoring, and the dad and the mom were talking, and it just felt, it was
like a third place.
Everyone was so comfortable, and then a woman was reading a book, and everyone was just like having a good time. People were chit-chatting. And then as I was going out and just making sure that I'd seen everything, I noticed on the door they had like a growth chart. So like, when you have as a kid, you're like measuring how tall you are.
That's awesome.
So it's literally like a living room for the community. And it's like, I mean, it's full. It's like, I don't know how many names were on there from kids, but it's, there were at least, I think 100 or something like that. So Anyway, I thought that was it was almost like too cute to be true kind of, but it did feel like what you're saying, Ton, really rings true to me because it's like it felt almost like from a different era in like the best way because it's like everything is like shiny and new and beige and I'm like, no, just like leave it alone. Let's like, I want that, like, not that I've been in Seattle for that long, but it's all too corporate. And I think it's no coincidence that a lot of the coffee shops on this list have been around for like 10 plus years.
I feel like I'm at someone's house.
Yeah.
And here, they don't make their own pastries, but have a wide selection every morning, like maybe a dozen different pastries, around $5. It's pretty affordable. They get their pastries from Macrina, one of the best bakeries here in Seattle. I love their rosemary ham biscuit, but the problem is they don't heat it up. So if you're there late in the day, like me, hungover, it's not as good because it should be hot. So I would say the go-to, if you were to go to this place and you want to nibble, is to get the croissants. C&P will serve a raspberry filling croissant, which is pretty darn good. It's for $5, and it doesn't matter when you get in the morning or like around 1 p.m. May. It's still good at room temperature. I highly recommend that. So let's leave West Seattle and go back across the bridge to, tell me this place.
This is KUOW. This is kind of on the edge of Central District, Madison Valley area. And this is new-ish. They are a coffee shop that serves food.
Gluten-free food for listeners out there. Yes.
Gluten-free.
Their entire drink and food menu is gluten-free.
Are they now open also until 9 for like alcohol service? Or?
Yes. They stay open until 9 now. And at night, they started offering bar food. So this is why I love this. See, this makes sense to me, Margo. Another place that's open morning, you get your espresso. Afternoon, they have sandwiches. And at night, they have beer and wine.
So I originally chose this place because I saw a couch prominently displayed on Google, on the Google Maps picture, and it was pretty new. And then I got there, and they didn't just have a couch. They had 2 kind of armchairs, also soft chairs by the window. And then they had like banquet chairs, also soft. So I was like, plenty of soft seating. Love it. And then I learned that they have a kind of KUOW book club that anyone can join. Ooh. So they're bookish, they're book friendly, and I love that. So they're very community focused, and I thought the vibe was really good. And they had like cute round tables that kind of reminded me of like Parisian cafe style. So anyway, I was really charmed by it, and I would like to go back in the evening, kind of see if I can maybe bring a friend and we both bring our books and see if that's like maybe a cute thing to do.
Yeah. And what I also love about this place, Margo, is during the day, I'm going to sound like an alcoholic. I swear, I don't drink in the morning. But if you do drink, they do spike their coffee. They have an Irish coffee. They kind of do a espresso martini-ish. They call it the nitro martini in the morning and afternoon. If that is your jam, it's always available. This sounds like it's a cry for help. I promise.
I'm not sure I'm ready for that. But you could have it at. Could you have it at night potentially?
Yes.
I mean there we go.
Say, yes.
You could speed read your book,
right,
while you're drinking that. Just really alert, really intensely.
Well, Margo, as you're sitting here, I just realized that we've been sitting next to each other at work and we don't hang out after work. We got to change this.
I know.
Let's go to one of these coffee houses, but at 9 p.m. or 8 p.m. in the evening, will you have coffee? We have a
nitro. I'm pitching whatever that nitro drink is that you just talked about.
That's right.
As long as it's not 8 a.m., I can do it.
Wow. Yes, a nitro martini. I'm down. I am game. Let's do this, Margo. Margo, thanks for joining me today and for all your suggestions.
Thanks, Tom. This is really fun. Appreciate it.
That's it for today. Margo Vansynghel is an arts economy reporter at the Seattle Times. We have a list of all the coffee houses we talked about, as well as a link to the KUOW Book Club with some great reading suggestions. It's all in our show notes. Thanks for listening to Seattle Eats. The show is a production of the Seattle Times and KUOW, part of the NPR network. You can support Seattle Eats by investing in the local newsrooms and the specialized beats that make this storytelling possible. Please consider joining and subscribing at KUOW.org/eats and SeattleTimes.com. Seattle Eats is produced by Brandy Fullwood, edited by Jim Gates and Trevor Lensmeyer. I'm Tom Vin. See you next week.